John Henry's with us, can you tell? Okay, so today we're doing chicken cordon bleu, and I think you're going to love it. Don't be intimidated, because it's really not that hard. I've been making it forever, and I've like streamlined it to be user-friendly. I've already done 4 of them, so we're kind of ahead of the game over there on the stove, but I saved one to show you how to put it together. So, here we go. First, you get a plastic bag, because if you just start beating this chicken breast with a meat mallet, you're going to have pieces of chicken all over your kitchen. I'm just saying. You can use saran wrap, 2 pieces of saran wrap. Doesn't matter. You better put something on it. So, here is our chicken breast. So, originally, it looks like that, and this is the thicker end. Well, I used a knife, and I kind of slit that open. You don't have to, but it's just easier to pound it out. You put it inside the bag. To meat mallet, I've done this with a regular hammer before, which you can do. But I used the Grady side of the meat mallet and just pound it out. It makes the rest of your kitchen just go crazy too. Alright, you want to make sure that it's evenly pounded out. And, it's about that thick. I can't tell yet. Maybe a ½ inch. Alright, so we've got that. I work with the smaller end towards me. Can't see this, can you? Okay, there. I work with the smaller end towards me, and that's where we're going to start rolling. You can use any ham you want. This is deli ham. You can get ham off the shelf, where all the bologna and stuff is. I mean, I want to say it doesn't matter, but deli ham does make it better. So I just kind of tear the ham apart to fit the piece of chicken. You don't always have to, use as much as I do, but I use at least a piece and a half. Alright, then we have some deli Swiss. This is just regular Swiss. I normally like to use baby Swiss, and I'm not sure why I have regular Swiss. So you lay that on top. You see that? We got all that. You got the cheese laid on top. You need to have some toothpicks. They did not have toothpicks where I was, so these are little baby skewers. And I've had to break a few in half because I'll show you in a minute. If you have the toothpicks too wide, the chicken won't turn well in the skillet. So I'm going to put one of these big ones in kind of diagonally, because I know it's going to be too wide if I put it that way. So I'm going to put the other one diagonally. If I had regular toothpicks, you see this? If I had regular, I put one diagonally that way and one that way because these are too long. If I had regular toothpicks, I'd put them straight across. But what you don't want is, big toothpicks sticking out on both sides, because when you go to turn it in the skillet, it's not really going to work well. Okay, so then we have the bowl of flour. I'm going to put all this measurements and everything in the description. I have measured to the best of my abilities today, I promise. Oh, see my shirt? Grateful for everything. Alright, so we have this little cute round thing, a rolled thing of chicken. In the flour, there is paprika, salt and pepper, and garlic salt. And I will put, salt and pepper. I will put the measurements down in descriptions. So you want to cover this well. I kind of dip the ends. I want it all covered well. Alright? Following me? Then rinse your hand off. In the Instapot over here, I have some long grain and brown rice. You can serve it on whatever you want or serve it on nothing. You can get Uncle Ben's. I'm looking at you again. You can get Uncle Ben's long grain and wild rice, or you can use rice-a-roni, long grain and wild rice. It doesn't matter. You can use white rice, noodles, nothing, you know, whatever. But that's what I have in here, and that's what I always serve this on. So we're going to move over to the stove, and this is a new tripod thing, so hopefully we won't have any big issues. Okay, we're going over here. Let's see. Oh, that was our measurements for y'all. Let's see where I can get you where you can see the most action going on the stove. Okay, so I have a little skillet here that I'm going to do just this one in, because the rest of them are in my favorite cast iron skillet. So I'm just going to put this in here, and it's going to do its thing. I put it in the skillet with the seam side down, like the side where the toothpicks are, okay? Seam side down. And my head, it makes the seam seal wherever you want. I've also been known to do this without toothpicks because I always forget to buy them. And if you're really careful, you can do it. But I'd say for your first 5 or 6 times, you better use toothpicks because it still is a challenge for me without toothpicks. Okay, so over here. Ooh-wee! Can you see that? Look at that. Not the microwave. Golden brown. That's what we want. I have browned these in about 4 tablespoons of olive oil and a stick of butter. You're not counting calories today, just in case you wanted to know. That's a no. Alright, let me get these out. How beautiful. I cook them with the lid on. I want to make sure the chicken gets done. Nothing worse than cutting into chicken and get raw chicken inside. Okay, so yum. Alright, so this is probably the part where you might get a little intimidated because we're going to make a white wine sauce, and it's delish. Okay, so I'm going to turn this burner back on. You're going to leave all the drippings from the chicken where you fried it. Don't dump this out. It's like good stuff. Okay. So we're going to turn that back on. Let me see. So in this wine glass, I have a 1.5 cups of Moscato. That's what I use. Use any kind of white wine that you like because the rest of the bottle you get to drink. Okay, so this is the cheap stuff. It's literally $3 at Aldi's. It's called Winking Owl. It's Moscato, and I love it. I'm having some issues with the Instapot back here. Okay. Oh, jeez. So in this white wine, I put 4 beef bouillon cubes. And I do that early on. I learned this a long time ago because it helps them dissolve better. You just throw them in there. It's just difficult. Okay. So you want this on medium heat. You don't want it too high or too low. So the first ingredient is this beef bouillon, 1.5 cups of white wine. The bouillon cubes are not completely dissolved, but you can kind of smash them. That's what I do. Kind of get them to fall apart. Alright, and you want this to simmer a little bit. I'm going to turn this other one that we did, and I had a lid out here. Okay. On the back burner, I have some fresh broccoli steaming, and that's what I'm going to serve with it. You could serve any vegetable you want, or no vegetable. I usually like to have some, oh, come and say hi, here's Hunka Hunka.
Nice funny old face.
You kind of like, hey.
Smells delicious in here.
He's so easy to please. Alright, got to get that kind of bubbling. You want to burn alcohol off, I guess. I don't know, but anyway, that's how I do it. Get it bubbly. Alright, so where are we at? We're here with my problem. Oh, this pot's working now. That's really good. The broccoli's already done. I'm just leaving it back here to hang out while I'm doing all this. So we got this bubbly. So we browned the chicken in 4 tablespoons of olive oil and a stick of butter. We rolled the chicken up, rolled it in the flour that has spices in it, and then we browned the chicken in here, and this is what it looks like so far. Okay? Alright, so the next step is half and half, half and half. I'm going to try to measure it. Alright, I'm going to start off with 2 cups. We like a lot of sauce. You don't have to eat it with a sauce, but to me it's not chicken cordon bleu without a sauce. So we're going to put in 2 cups of half and half. We'll stir that around. I'm going to add 1 more cup. Just because we like a lot of sauce. You can stop with the 2 cups if you want. I'm just going to add a little bit more. So you're going to let this get happy. It has to get happy. You know, I need to figure out something where you can see my face and the pot at the same time. Maybe if I lift this up a little bit. Let me lift you up a little bit so you can see my cabinets with outdoors. Well, it's not too much better. Puck's hanging out with us. See Pucky back there? That's Max's dog. This is me. The same. Alright, we're going to get this happy. I got to turn the other chicken we did, if I can find the fork. Hello. Oh, it's getting happy over here. Okay, we want to get this to a little simmer boil. I just turn the burner up a little bit. In a glass, cup, coffee cup, whatever. This is 2 tablespoons. I measured it. of cornstarch. And in here, we're going to pour at least, a half a cup or a little more of half and half. And we're going to mix it together because we got to thicken the sauce. Wish you all could see this. Over here. It's chaotic. Okay. Keep stirring this. Trying to get it to bubbly. Bubbly, bubbly. So, that didn't work. You can't really see my face, but you know, I always talk about something in West Virginia, or I try to in my videos, and you know, today is a Sunday. When I was growing up and I went to live in the country when I was 12 or 13, I could remember this is back in the 80s, like 1980. It's probably still like this in some homes, but my neighbor had a horse, and my dad bought me a horse, which I just thought was wonderful. So we're getting bubbly. But me and my friend would, you know, ride together and we'd go clean the barn out together. And I remember one time we went for a ride. Sorry, I'm sweating. And when we got back, it was a Sunday. And when we got back, I'm like, well, you want to clean out the stalls since we're right here? And she was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, clean out the stalls. She goes, but it's Sunday. And I'm like, okay. Because we don't do any work on Sunday. And I'm like, oh my goodness. It is a day of rest. And I just thought that was wonderful. It's not always a day of rest for us in these days because, you know, I mean, like me, I work every other weekend. It's just life is busy. But wouldn't it be nice to have truly a day of rest? Just saying. All right, we're bubbly over here. We're too bubbly. I'm turning it down. It's one nuts. Alright, so turn it down, because when you add the thickening, you don't want it to be crazy bubbling. I'm going to turn that down and get it back down to like little bubbles. And this one is done. I'm going to turn that one off. So the one that I showed you is now done, so it doesn't take very long. I keep looking back and forth. It doesn't take very long to do that. Alright, we're down to a little bubble. I'm going to pour in the half and half into the cornstarch. That might be about a cup, a half and half. Stir that up really good. Really, really, really good. Okay, back over here to the stove. We're going to stir this up really good. And as always, I won't be able to put this together on camera, but I will put it together and put it in the thumbnail. Alright, here we go. We're going to stir it in. It's dishes like this that are not that hard to put together that your family will just think you're the best. Well, which you are the best, but you know what I mean. So if it gets a little too thick, gotta make sure the butter and the oil are incorporated, so you just keep stirring. But what I do when it gets too thick is I cut it down with fine. Alright, we're looking good. Sometimes the olive oil doesn't want to incorporate, and you don't have to use olive oil. You can use olive butter if you want to. Okay. Alright, so another trick I do, and you don't have to do this either, but I just found out it tastes really good. I melt some Swiss cheese in this sauce. And I am going to at least put one on a small plate. I'll show you what it looks like with the sauce, but when the rice gets done, I'll plate it out with the rice, the chicken and the sauce and the broccoli, and I'll put that in the thumbnail, and I'll put all the measurements in the description below. So we're melting some Swiss cheese into this sauce. I love white wine and garlic sauces. I'm going to take a taste here in a second. Never serve people something that you haven't tasted because you don't want to get shocked at the table. Okay? True story. So let's give this a little taste. Oh my gosh. I could swim in this pot for real. Well, the sauce is done. So I'm gonna plate. Okay, well, if you're really nice, like if you're really nice, you take the toothpicks out of the chicken before you serve it. I'm not that nice. Okay. Oh, my plates are in your face. Okay, so here we go. Get your handy dandy fork. I've turned this off. You're gonna get some chicken. Now just imagine. Oh, just imagine that this chicken is on a bed of rice, whatever rice you like. Then you take your sauce and you just pour it right over the chicken. I mean, it gets more than beautiful. Look at that. Don't you want a fork? Don't you want to be here? Don't you want to be hunka hunka today? Because this is what he's going to get. Okay, you all have a great Sunday because we are. And I'll probably be back tomorrow with something else. Take care.